It's road trip time. I know, I'm so excited. I'm going to go down to Belleville, Illinois and see my dad. It's about 4.5 hours away. I am packed and ready to go. We are in the middle of another heat wave. Can you believe it? It is like record heat across the country. I think everywhere except for maybe the Pacific Northwest is the only place that's not baking right now. So we'll be doing some DIY projects while I'm at my dad's. We're going to make a great pumpkin stacker, and then we're going to make a matching wreath to put on his door because we want him to have some pretties outside his house for fall. And even though it doesn't feel like fall, fall is coming. Sooner or later, it will be here. So about 4.5 hours we'll be there, so let's get going. Welcome to Illinois. As we're driving to St. Louis, I had to pull over because I think these wind farms and these turbines are so cool. And then we got a cornfield on my left and a soybean field on my right. Yep, welcome to Illinois. That's their big blades right there. I think I'm probably someplace I'm not supposed to be, but I wanted to get closer. Check it out. That is the blade that goes on one of these big monsters. Look at that. That thing is huge. This is one of my favorite little nurseries to come to when I come to see my dad in Belleville. I don't think I'm in Belleville. I'm in another little township. But this is Sandy's back porch. And I discovered this, I don't know, a couple years ago when I was here. And I just love coming here. So I love how she does at the front here. She's got those proven winners, luscious lemon lantana. She's got some of the bubblegum super petunias. And then look at that grass. Isn't that great? But it's not a very big place. But it's so cute and awesome. I love coming here. I thought I had some mums at my store. She's got some mums. Check it out. I always like getting ideas when I go to other places too. I like these banners that she has. Those are cool. I like how she's got them all labeled too. We did signs and groupings too. But hers, you can really tell what is what. And I really like these little mini stands that she has with the arbors. I know that there's a plan to build these from proven winners. I just haven't downloaded it to build them yet, but I think I might build a couple. I really like them. Okay, check. Made it to Sandy's back porch. They're also a proven winners certified retail garden center, so I like coming here and I love their stuff. So that was fun just to walk around and check it out and just see what other garden centers do. I got a couple ideas, so that's always fun. And I did pick up 2 celosias. My 2 little celosias. They'll look good in one of the pots at home. I just got to keep them alive between now and then, which no problem. So here we are, we're in St. Louis. We're going to do our DIY project. I am at Old Time Pottery. We're going to go inside and look for some fake pumpkins. preferably foam because we want to drill holes through them. We're going to make a pumpkin stacker for my dad to put outside his door. My dad actually wants to landscape, but he can't. He's 81 years old and he just can't handle it anymore. I actually went around and took all of his pots that had dead plants in them, dumped all of the dirt in one of the tree lines, and I stashed all the pots out by the garbage so that the garbage man would come and take them, so that he's not tempted to repot them again, because he just shouldn't be doing things like that. So we're going to make him a pot that is going to be a pumpkin stacker, and we're going to do it with a dowel rod that he can pull the whole thing out, put it in a bag, hang it in a closet, and put it back out the next year. And then we'll make one for him at Christmas time as well that he can put in its place, and then one for spring and then one for summer. And then all he has to do is just change that out, and it gives him some little pretties outside without any of the work that he doesn't need to be doing. So we're at one of my favorite stores, Old Time Pottery. We don't have one in Rockford, but I love this store. So we're going to go in and see if we can find the pumpkins. Okay, we're looking for faux pumpkins that we can drill holes in, and they need to probably be foam. These are all wood. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Here's a bin of pumpkins. Yeah, this is more what I'm looking for right here. So we got to find some that we can stack that are going to be big enough for our stacker. I thought about blue for just a minute. I thought these would be pretty, but I think I'm going to stick with traditional. They also had like cream and green, and so it was hard to decide, but when it came right down to it, I think I'm just going to stick with plain old traditional looking, and I'm going to do these 3 stackers right here. So I got 1 set for him and 2 for me. So, all right, got our pumpkins. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good about that. I got out of there for under $100, and I bought some stuff for me too. And look at these cute little bags that I got. I can use them for grocery shopping later. Aren't those cute? I just thought that those were so cute. All right, let's go back and make some little things for my dad. I'm in my dad's backyard. I think it's gonna start raining a little bit, but we're gonna get our pumpkin stackers made. So you need the 3 pumpkins or more if you're gonna stack them higher. I want my pumpkin to be just a little bit smaller than the container that I'm going to put it in. This is a 13-inch opening on the top, and this is a 10-inch pumpkin. So I get about 3 inches around the outside edge when I put it in there, because I want to be able to have greens and stuff that come out. I also want the pumpkins that go on top to be a little bit smaller. So I have 10, I have 7, and then I have 5. So I'm going to stack 3 pumpkins. I've decided to use the traditional colors, and whatever pumpkin it is that you decide to do, you need to be able to put some kind of dowel rod or pole through the center, and you got to be able to like drill a hole to get it started. So I'm going to be using these green landscaping, or I don't know, I think people use them to tie up peppers or garden vegetables. So I'm going to use, I have a 3-foot one here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive it down into the pot, and then I'm going to stack the pumpkins on it. And that's going to give me security so that the pumpkins don't go all over the place in the wind. I also, you know, I bought this because I really liked it, but I bought some roping, and I like the kind that's got like the faux, you know, twigs on there versus just a plastic runner. I just like these better. So this was pretty cheap. I got it for the whole thing for $7.99. And you can get stuff like this, you know, at the dollar store. I got this at Old Time Pottery, but if you don't have that, there's Michael's, there's Walmart, there's Hobby Lobby. So lots of places that you can get greens. And look in your own supply tubs in your basement or attic or wherever you store those. So the other thing that we're going to do is we are going to make a matching wreath to go with the pumpkin stacker. And so I also kind of walked around and raided the store before I came, and I found different embellishments that we can use to accent everything that we're doing, and I want everything to match. So I'm going to put all of this together. And I don't know that I'm going to use everything that I brought, but you know, I have some lotus pods. I have dowel rods in case I need to wire anything to the dowel rod to get it down inside of the dirt. I have my little floral tape in case I want to put a couple pieces together. I have a glue gun. I have wire. So this is the 22 gauge paddle wire, my favorite wire to use whenever I'm doing any kind of silk or plastic project. And I'll tell you, the greens that I picked outside of this one that I just bought, which is kind of like a cloth material, all the rest of them are kind of plasticky because I want them to be able to weather outside really well. Then I have a drill and a knife so that I can cut the stems off of these pumpkins and I can stack them on top of each other. And then again, I have my trusty wire cutters. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to stack the pumpkins first. And basically what I'm going to do is, this is my smallest pumpkin. I am not going to cut the top of the pumpkin off because I want the stem on there. But the other two pumpkins, I'm going to cut the stem off, and then I'm going to glue and stack the pumpkins and run the dowel rod through the center of all the pumpkins and get those secured. That's step one. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my little small leaves, and I'm going to tuck them in here, and I'm going to attach them to a dowel rod so I can stick them down inside the dirt to secure them so that they're in there really far. And that's going to finish filling this gap between the pumpkin and the edge of my greenery, and it's going to cover my little plate up. So I'm going to do that next. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut all these off and attach them to dowel rods. Seem like you've got a stem that long and you could just come in here and stick it in the dirt, but what'll happen is if we get a really big windstorm, it could pick it up and pull it out of there. So I like to attach it to the dowel rod, and that way I can stick it in. I mean, look at how far I was able to stick that in, and I know it's not going anywhere. So what I'm going to do is attach it to the dowel rod, and so you can use floral tape like this. That's waterproof, and you can just, you know, you can roll it around the whole edge and get it secured on there. Or you can use paddle wire. That'll work too. So that way, now, and then I can manipulate this. And these are like plastic leaves, so I know that these are going to be durable. And so now I'm going to come in here and kind of put it at an angle. And I'm going to fill in all the way around my pumpkin and hide the gap of my plate and the dirt and the outside edge that I just did. I am really happy with how the stacker turned out. I've already taken it around front and put it on the front porch, and I'm going to make a wreath to put on the door to match. So I'm going to be using pretty much all the same greens that I used to make that stacker. I'm going to use to make this wreath. I'm going to use an oval wreath, and I am going to put a bow on it. I have no idea where it's going to go or what this is going to look like, because I'm making this up as I go along, because sometimes when you make a wreath, that's what happens. You just start putting it together, and I'll try to capture all of that on film so you see it. I'm going to glue all the pieces in, and we're going to see how it turns out. And again, it's visual. Stand back and look at your creation. A lot of times your eye will go to where there's a hole or where you think you need something in the wreath, and you can just add something to it. So I start with my leaves and my greens first, and then I add my floral or other embellishment pieces to it as I go. Alright, last time I made a wreath, or I did something with a glue gun, and I had the little glue webs all over the place. Somebody said take a hairdryer and to run the hairdryer over, and it'll shrink up all the glue webs, so I'm going to try it. Worked pretty good. Alright guys, I had a great 3 days down here with my dad. I'll be heading home tomorrow. The weather is supposed to break, I think, the day after tomorrow. So hopefully we're in for some cooler weather. It's been pretty hot and muggy here. A little bit of rain on and off today. I had a really good time making the pumpkin stackers for my dad. Also making the wreath for his door. And just hanging out and spending time with him. So I love coming down to Belleville. It's not very far away. It only took me like 4.5 hours to get down here. So I usually come down 3-4 times a year and spend 3-4 days with my dad, which is always absolutely wonderful. But back to work tomorrow, and we'll keep going, and we'll see you in the next video. You guys keep on gardening. Stay cool out there. I know it's crazy hot. Bye, everybody.